Hi, and welcome to another episode of It's Really Not Me, It's You. I'm your host, Gan. And today we have lovely Danielle. Again, It's Really Not Me, It's You. Real women, real patterns, and real time. Hi, Danielle.
Hi.
So, Danielle, how's your day going?
It's been a day.
Been
I'm
a
glad
day?
it's over. I'm happy to be here. I've been looking forward to it.
Wonderful. We're happy to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'll be 42 this year. I'm recently, well, I'm in my fourth year on the East Coast in Pensacola. I moved from San Diego back in 2022.
Okay.
Um, I've been working for myself. I'm in my 11th year now. I have a 21-year-old son who also lives here with his girlfriend out the house, empty nester.
Okay.
Um, and I have a couple of pets. I have my dog, Bunny. She's 11, well, almost 11. And then I have a hamster. Her name is Chicken Nugget, and I
Cute.
don't know how old she is. She's young.
Okay, chicken nugget. That is so cute. That is so
She
cute.
looks like a chicken nugget.
I can imagine. Like as soon as you said I saw a little furry brown, I was like, that makes so much sense. Man, my oldest son, he was trying to catch some. We have twin kittens. They're twin black cats, but they're kittens. They're really little, and they were under the house yesterday. So he called me over there. Was Mom, I want these kittens. I was like, well, okay, can you catch the kittens? Like so he's been trying to catch the kittens for 2 days. But anyway, he was trying to think of a name for the kittens, and he named one soy and the other sauce. And I thought that was so cute, like. Soy sauce
So
is so cute.
funny.
That is so cute to me. I was like, they do look like soy sauce. It was so cute. But so that's fun. I love that you have pets. I really haven't met a person that has a hamster yet, so that's really cute. And Bunny, your dog, that's cute too. Those are such cute names. So you're out there in Pensacola, and you say you're self-employed, like you're an
Yes.
entrepreneur. Okay,
Yes.
fabulous. What do you do?
I do eyelash extensions.
That's wonderful in the
Yeah.
beauty industry.
Yeah.
Okay, love that. You've been doing that for 11 years, you said.
Yes.
Okay,
And
excellent.
I love it. I wish I would have started sooner. I was happy to leave the corporate world. Um, I absolutely love doing what I do. So,
Well, I'm excited to hear that. I love people that like to take risks on themselves, so like go for your dreams. I'm gonna go for mine. I'm gonna always encourage others to go for theirs. And you're living it like it's been, over a decade and you've not had to go back or, clock in
mm,
to five. And
mm.
so that's real freedom right there. I mean, you can make your schedule, make your time, and you're doing something you're passionate about. So kudos to you. That's really exciting, Danielle. Now, Danielle, okay, when you first reached out to us, interested on being in the show, this is what stood out to me on your application. You said a lot of interesting things on your application, but one thing that you said that really stuck out to me was that you feel that you're in a very different place than you were 3 years ago in an awesome and amazing positive way. And you really went through some transformations from what you had elaborated on your application. So, what would you say is the biggest difference that you've experienced from like the Danielle you are now to who you were prior to that 3 years ago?
True. The main thing is the self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I went through a spiritual awakening in 2023, and it helped me to see outside of myself and notice this character I've been playing for 41 years. And it really caused me to do some digging and kind of self-discovery and self-healing. And I did a lot of that, but the biggest thing or what it's led to so far is just actual peace. And I found happiness within my life. 3 years ago, it was, I understood that I, was self-sabotaging a lot of things out of fear or even sometimes unknowingly. Um, and I'm able to kind of navigate relationships or when I'm communicating with people, kind of seeing it from even outside of me and helping me to be able to see all perspectives in one sitting and realizing that maybe I do things. Even if I'm just talking to somebody, they say something that I can resonate with. And, rather than me saying, oh, yeah, me too, I just kind of mental note and wait, for it. Finding out that on the spectrum, that was the part that really, really scared me. It made everything make sense. But I will say I took a 3-day grippy sock vacation.
Okay, a 3 day grippy sock. So does that I'm not as like aware. I know that you on your application you did say that you found out that you had been diagnosed with autism. And I'm not as aware of certain like things about autism. So could you elaborate a little bit more? I know you just said the grippy socks, but I'm not understanding like what that means. So what
Oh, well, grippy sock vacation is um mental health hospital was
Okay.
that. After that discovery, I was actually doing research for somebody else to try to teach myself how to interact with that person, for them to understand me better and understand that I'm, not there to hurt them. And also realizing that maybe that person, these malicious things that I was thinking is probably not true.
Yeah.
I was in the midst of doing that research, and it started to say, women are harder to diagnose, and these are the reasons why, and these are the things that are usually highly likely that you're on the spectrum. And every single one of them hit me, and it hit like a ton of bricks. Like I couldn't swallow, and just thinking about it now I get the chills. um it made a lot of things make sense about my life and my habits, and me always feeling like I didn't fit in. I was bullied a lot. A lot of people called me weird, this and that, thought I was stuck up. Whole time I was shy. um One of the bigger things with me moving to Florida is it helped me to get my mental health under control. So I spent a lot of time being depressed and anxious. And that's another thing too. Difference between then and now is my anxiety. I don't have it anymore. I got with my doctor. I got on the proper medications, and I'm able to do simple things like make a phone call without rehearsing what could, the conversation that could happen, or go out to eat by myself, or um go shop. I don't like to shop, but go somewhere by myself. I couldn't do a lot of those things. Anxiety really kept me in this little box within my mind. And I'd say that's the biggest thing is I'm a lot more happy. And now with the autism, I noticed a thing with eye contact. I recognize specifically teaching myself to make eye contact, even though it was very uncomfortable for me. Um, and I usually do it now, but I'm looking at their eyelashes. So it's kind of like a little game for me. It helps me, but it helps them. But then they're probably like, what the heck is she looking at me like that for? Meanwhile, I'm just trying to maintain eye contact because that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Um, I remember, sitting on my hands to keep me from, fidgeting and moving a lot. A lot of my little habits that I have, and uh, hobbies, and just the little quirks and things. It kind of made these one little things, here and there, all of them added up. And then it was like, oh, because I have a cousin who's autistic, but he's on the spectrum where he will never live alone.
Yeah.
He doesn't, he couldn't. So I thought autism was that and that only. I
Yeah.
didn't know there was
Like the
it was a
varying
spectrum. It was
degrees.
wide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so the discovery of that was scary in that it made everything make so much more sense. And it enabled me to understand, or give me a baseline of who I really am.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people when they have like this time when they're sitting there and they're like, who am I? Like we are who we've been conditioned to be since we were
Yeah.
born. And so I didn't know I had a baseline, but it was like these little things and these nuances that I did that brought me to the discovery of being on the spectrum. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that gives me something to start. because
Yeah.
somewhere to start, because the things that I do, and my little hobbies and the things I get excited about, and me being fidgety and being excited, and I like it that is me.
Yeah.
And that helped a lot too with healing, because then I'm like, okay, well, that's me, and I can build upon that. I like to collect things. I've had birthday cards since junior high. I got to get them out of the storage, but because I have to add my other cards soon. But since I was in junior high school, like I've collected things. I have rocks, shells, I have hobbies galore, and that is truly me. And
Yeah.
so that gave me a baseline to start from, and so I know who I am now,
That's
and I'm
awesome.
building upon that in the things that bring me joy.
And also, Danielle, as you're sharing, which also thank you for sharing, um, it sounds liberating. Like it sounds like having that clarity and being able
Yes,
to recognize it and know like, okay, this isn't just something I've just been imagining, or people just aren't, pointing
exactly.
these
It
things
wasn't just
out to
all
me
in
for
my
no
head.
reason. Like, yeah, which can add to the anxiety, because it's like it made you feel like you had to police yourself or
Yeah,
micromanage yourself based on what other people's expectations of how you should be was. And that is exhausting, so
yeah.
I can understand too why you feel so much peace, especially after understanding yourself more, because now you don't have to deny parts of yourself in order to make yourself more digestible for other people. If they just,
Oh my goodness,
if they can't
yes.
handle it, then like, good. Now I just know we aren't in alignment. Like I don't have to keep thinking
Yep.
something's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm
Right.
good. I'm just doing me. Like this is me. I'm doing me, and it's obviously a you problem because you just can't accept me being myself. So I can see that as being very liberating as well. Um, and thank you
And
for
the
sharing that.
relocation helped that as well. If I would have still been in San Diego, I think I would have been stuck in that toxic cycle that I
Yeah,
was in,
yeah,
looking for happiness in other places, confused about who I am. Even my circle, the friends that had adopted me, I make friends, easily because I'm in the industry, pick and choose who we're friends with, but those people don't know who I am today.
yeah,
They wouldn't know me today, and the relocation helped. Everything just, looking back, it's like everything happened exactly how it was supposed to. And me being here in a new space, these people know me,
yeah,
as who I truly am, and who I'm comfortable being, and who I don't go home and take off a mask because I've been me the whole day. My clients are that way too. I get to be me all the time, and they like me.
yeah.
And there's no weird confusion. They're like, oh, who? They're just like, oh, this girl, like, she's really cool. And I'm just like, yeah, let's go do some crafts together. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I was hearing somebody outside my house for a second. Maybe my kids and my dad. But so thank you for sharing. And I understand completely too how changing your environment can also, what do they say? You can't heal in the place that's hurt you. So, and
right,
not that I don't even think those people were maybe intentionally doing it. A lot of
right.
people live in like unaware. They're unaware. They're not self-aware, nor are they conscious of how they really trigger or affect other people. They think they have good intentions, and a lot of people, even in their good intentions, are not as kind as they could be. I want to say, but
100%.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think I would like to
It was a
say
lot of people tolerating people
yes,
rather than
yes.
people truly and genuinely enjoying them.
Yes. And I
Yeah,
think that to me, as I've been kind of studying under Carl Jung, or Jung is Jung, but what he was saying is about like the shadow side, right? So we have those parts of ourselves that we deny or that we don't want to accept. And so because we're unwilling to look at those aspects in us, when we see them being lived out loud from someone else, they trigger us and we project as if something's wrong with that person when it's really just a piece of us that we won't sit with, you know? So they
Right.
may see you as more outgoing or bubbly or fun or, you know, like, and then they're like, oh, we need to temper her down because they're self conscious. And then they want you to be self conscious because they're
Right.
self conscious. And it's like, it's really not me. Like, I'm okay. Like, I'm not really, I wasn't thinking about it until you pointed it out. But why are you observing me so hard? You know, like,
Right.
observe you. Like, what are you not doing that you wish you could be doing? I'm living out loud. So, don't worry, Danielle. I understand in my own way how that can, you know, affect you when somebody is constantly like micromanaging and critiquing, and you genuinely want to think that they're doing it from a good place, but it's harmful to you. It's harmful to your self-esteem, it's harmful to your self-worth, it's harmful to you trying to sit in your identity and in your embodiment, especially if you are questioning certain parts of yourself. And that doesn't really help. It kind of exacerbates it. But I see that you use those moments as kind of like a catalyst. They look catalytic because it really gave you a spiritual awakening, or you had put on your application that you experienced a spiritual awakening. And how has that spiritual awakening, when you look at who you are now to who you were before, what part of yourself do you feel like, I want to say, like, you released the most? Like, what part of yourself had to die or had to be released in order for you to be in this rebirth energy of this new Danielle? Even though you are more yourself, but what part of yourself do you feel like you had to let go of, or that you had to stop identifying with in order to fully embody yourself?
Um, being being okay with saying no, with telling people
Mm-hmm.
no and not feeling bad about it.
Yeah.
Um, but it also helps now in this new group of fans where they don't belittle me or talk me down or even try to convince me to go otherwise. Um, it's funny because even for New Year's Eve, one of my new friends, her birthday was on New Year's Eve, and they, everybody was going out afterwards, and I dressed in sweats to her dinner just so they knew I wasn't going out after.
Yeah.
Because back home, you know what I mean, I would have
Yeah.
needed that tactic.
Yeah.
But I realized like I didn't need to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean I was comfortable when we ate, and they didn't care. But yeah, just being able to say no, and being able to also otherwise be honest with people. um I've been able to be more honest with people, and they're able to receive it.
That's great.
um Criticism, constructive criticism. Also, I'm able to take constructive criticism a lot better. I don't allow things to get to me and bring down my energy. And I also um it's important for me to maintain my energy and to keep it up. And that's another thing uh, that keeps me going throughout my day. I don't let things bring me down. I keep my energy high. I am around people that don't let things bring them down. Um, and I think that's just, I have friends that now I will go hang out with them or go to their house instead of being at home by myself and doing my little hobbies. And I feel comfortable doing it. And when they say, make yourself at home, they mean it. And I feel that. And I do. Like
Yeah.
I got my little spot on their couch, you know what I mean? But um, I'm able to have and maintain genuine friendships where I actually feel the love and I don't feel like they're tolerating me and I don't water myself down
Yeah.
anymore at all. And also, I released, being shy. Sometimes I play shy, uh, but I released that, and being able to be confident. And if I feel like wearing something that doesn't look right to anybody else, like I will wear it. Back in home, I couldn't do that without being, oh, what are you wearing? Like, what is that? Oh, no, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just just being totally and completely accepted has helped me to be able to just be me and wake up with the pep in my step and excited to get to work and then see my clients with their smiles on their face and see my friends with the smiles on their faces. And get to come home to my humble abode and do my little arts and crafts and have friends come over that also do arts and crafts and
That's beautiful. It actually sounds like to me because uh, like you have a very warm energy as well, and I think that that comes from you feeling safe inside yourself. So I think that because that safety radiates out, like you pulled in others that are safe for you because you're no
hmm
longer putting yourself in situations that don't feel safe.
right.
I think a lot of women, we have struggled with that. I myself have struggled with that where I was in a very toxic environment and I felt very unsafe. And I didn't even realize how unsafe I felt until one day it hit me drastically like, oh my gosh, when am I ever safe? Like, when do I actually ever feel safe? And it was terrifying to me that I realized, like, wow, I live so unsafe. Like,
Right.
and I'm,
Right.
I'm now safe. I'm very safe. I'm very comfortable. I'm very warm, but I haven't reached that space where I'm like super open. I think
hmm
that that's my next step, but I've been in a lot of solitude and a lot of isolation these past couple months, and I have like genuine friends, like long-term friends that I've reached out to and that I talk to, but like these have been my friends for years and years and years and years, like, but as far as like me just being in environments, like I at one point I couldn't even go to work anymore. My nervous system had collapsed and I was like in the bed. Like I could not do anything. And I was like, oh my gosh, I pushed myself, to the brink of not only mental and emotional exhaustion, but like I feel like I'm about to die. Like I feel like, I had to keep going at that point, but it's only so much survival mode you can be in before you do collapse, before you do burn out, before it's just like I can't do
Before
this
you need that
anymore.
mental health facility.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yep.
it's like, you
hmm
know what? I'm about to give up. I'm about to give up, but
Are you?
the Lord the Lord saw me through, but he saw me through a lot of, again, mine was through a lot of solitude, through a lot of just sitting with myself. And thank God, my kids, they were going to school and I'd be at home during the day, and I promise you I would get up, get them ready for school, and get back in the bed. I might take a shower at 2 o'clock, put some clothes on, wait for them to get out the bus, bring them to the store to get some food, fix them, and back in my pajamas I go. Like I'm not, I'm mom's really not functional. I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. They gave me a lot of hugs. I have little boys. They gave me a lot of hugs, lots of loves, and I felt so broken, and I hated that I couldn't pretend that I wasn't, and I was just telling them,
Yeah.
Mom's working on getting better. Mom is really trying her best. Just gotta be soft with mom right now. Mom's sorry. Mom's gonna be
Mhm.
soft with herself, and I'm gonna be soft with y'all. But mom's just working through some things. Mom's not really doing good, but mom, it has nothing to do with y'all, And they saw me. They saw me go through a lot. They saw me in very unsafe situations, and they kind of understood. But at the same time, it's like I hate that they had to witness that because I don't. You want them to think that you're strong, but also I hope that it helped them in the future as men be compassionate with the women that
Right.
they choose, that they'll see, like, I'm not going to expect my woman to do everything and be superwoman, like I'm going to treat her soft. So I make my sons treat me soft, and I hope that my future
Mhm.
daughter-in-laws appreciate that and that they get a
Right.
soft life. They get a soft life because I was trying at first. I was trying to be that superwoman, and it did burn me out. And I couldn't pretend it didn't. I was like,
Yeah.
nope. You know what? This life isn't for me. I'm tapped out. I literally was tapped out physically, so it was nothing I could do. It really was nothing. My body like shut down. It was like nothing I could do. But now I'm safe, and I literally, it was this month in May, I started feeling vitality. Like, not,
Yeah.
I didn't feel I didn't feel like everything was back to normal, but what I did feel like was that my energy felt youthful again. Like I felt inside myself like, wow, I'm alive. Like, so it had been a long time coming since I just felt that energy inside myself where I feel young. Because for some reason, it's like I am young. I'm 34. I should feel young. I should feel vibrant. I should be like, oh, I want to date, I want to do this, I want to go out. But I was like an old lady. I was like feeling like I was 80, 80 years old. I was like, I want to be at home on the couch, reading a book with the aromatherapy on. My sons, they know I love healing music. So I'm always got some sound therapy on. Like, that's me, like a little mama. I'm just a little mama. Leave me alone. I don't need too much. I'm not worried about nothing. Like, it was so funny. My son, like the other day, he was like, "Me and Jesus gonna have to find you a husband." Like, I'm not worried about no man. I'm trying to just
It
like,
ain't the climate for that. Oh my gosh. Don't
but
even get
but this
started on
month,
dating.
right,
Oh,
right, it's cool. I'm cool. I'm safe. I'm safe.
right,
That's all I'm worried about
right,
right now. But
right.
this month I did feel that vital. I do feel that vital. I do feel like, girl, you young as hell. Like, girl, But it took me a minute to get here. I was so traumatized and so like just unconscious to how much I had just pushed and suppressed and just like not dealt with trying to be strong. And it's like, okay, I used to always say, oh, I'm turning pain into power. Like, okay, but what happened when you hit pain tolerance? What happens
Mm,
when you do get too much pain? And I
right.
decided to figure that part out. I was like, okay, Lord, at this point, it's too much pain. And then it started being pain from years and years ago that I hadn't dealt with. He was like, okay, remember when you just pushed that to the side and thought you turned that into power? What you turned it into was avoidance. And like, now we're going to sit with it. And it's like, oh no, I don't want to be sitting here grieving and doing all this stuff, Lord. Like, but I literally couldn't run from it if I wanted to. So
Right.
now I turn pleasure into power. Now I seek pleasure and comfort and like, not escapism, but just like peaceful activities, like you say, hobbies, and which is so fun. I used to be an activity director, so I literally spent 9 years of my life bringing meaningful activities to the general elderly population of my nursing home. So I understood how important it was to have meaningful activities because that literally was their lifeline to joy and to movement and to
Mhm.
community and to support. And it's like, when it was me, it was like, oh no, just give up on everything, lay in the bed. So I had to start back doing things. I had to like, Megan, remember we used to love to read? Megan, remember we loved music? Megan, remember
Mhm.
crafting? We loved making bath soaps. We love, so I had to go back and figure out like, Megan, what do you love? Now I love French. I'm sitting here learning French, enchanté. So it's like, yeah, nice to meet you. I think that is the fun part of spiritual awakening is once you do or are fully awakened yourself, you do find those things that you really connect with on a spiritual, emotional, mental level. They give you
Mhm.
fulfillment. And I don't need things outside myself and outside the love of God to fulfill me. I don't. I love my children, but even if I didn't have children, I would still know what I need. And sometimes my kids will come
Mhm.
crying and we don't want you to be alone. Mom's not alone. It may seem like I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. I'm not out here needing something outside myself or outside my relationship with the Lord in order to feel whole or to feel happy or to feel peaceful or to feel like I matter. And I
Mhm.
think early in my 20s and in my teens, I really needed external validation. I needed success. I needed
Oh yeah.
grades. I needed friends. I needed these things because I was questioning whether I mattered or whether I had a purpose and all of these things. But once, like, it was so funny. That's literally when I went to take my 6 weeks off from work. God told me, He was like, just take the time off and I will tell you what your purpose is. And I was like, okay, I trust you. I'm gonna take the time off. And all I did was sleep. So like it was like a week before I had to go back to work, and I ended up taking an extra week off. And I was like, Lord, all I did was sleep for 6 weeks. I called the people, told them I'm not coming to another week. You didn't tell me my purpose. He's like, okay, your purpose is to be yourself. And I got pissed, kind of. I was like, a lame purpose, Lord. And need all that time to figure out to be me. I've been doing that the whole time. He was like, yes, but have you? And that was the real question. Like, you're right. I've been people pleasing and I've been shrinking myself in areas and I've been like denying myself pleasures because I didn't want to be identified a certain way. And so you're right. I have not been just being myself. I have not been doing that. You got me, Lord. You did bring that to my attention. I'm sorry. Now I'll be myself. And then so then I started being myself. When I went back to work, they were like, "Oh, you've changed. You've become this and that." And it's like, really, I didn't become any of those things, because when I talked to the people that knew me from my childhood, they were like, "There's Megan. There's you. There you are. We haven't met this you in a long time." And it's like, yeah, I'm me again. I'm back to me. I'm back to my baseline. But I was so disrupted in my nervous system that I didn't even realize how much in survival mode I was, that I didn't recognize I wasn't even being myself. Like, I wasn't
Right.
even happy or comfortable in myself. I was literally pretending just because I was surviving. And you really aren't you when you're in survival mode. That's really not you. That's the part of you that takes over. That's your defense mechanisms trying to protect you because you're constantly feeling safe. So
Yep.
I do
Yeah.
completely identify with, how you radiate now. I didn't meet you before, but you radiate calm and safe, and I think that that is the main reason you have attracted such a beautiful circle to you. And I'm hoping that now that I'm radiating calm and safe and like more vitality, that I'll start attracting those same energies to me when I go back outside. But right now I'm still a little bit in the Momo energy. I'm still just a little bit. I do have a new fun position where I'm going to start doing seminars. And of course, I have this show. So this is me branching out into visibility. But that's another thing, too. Like, survival me hated being seen. I hated visibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is everybody looking at me? Why, like, and people
Right.
so, like, attracted to me, and I didn't know why. Like, I'd be questioning them, like, why do you want to be around me? Why are you always looking for me? Why, like, and it'd
Yeah.
be like, Megan, you're fun. You're there. I'm like, am I? Like, yeah, girl. When you're being yourself, be yourself. Like, so, it's a different world when you do wake up from certain things. So, what I want to talk about now is your blueprint. So, I will bring up your blueprint. Let's see. And we will go over just, I'll try to touch maybe one or two things from each section. It's a really long document. It's almost 60 pages. It's 57 pages. So it's very detailed. I won't go over everything. I will send it to you for you to go over, but I want to hit a few things. So on the first section of your blueprint, this is called your soul essence, and it's your draconic identity. And so your draconic chart is um your soul's astrology. That's how I put it. So it's who you've been in different lifetimes and how it's synthesized in order for to be who you are today. Okay. So your draconic chart is basically your soul memory. And we're going to talk about your sun sign in your draconic chart and your moon sign in your draconic chart. We'll just hit those two spots and you'll be able to see. We did all of the planets in your chart, but we'll just talk about those two. So for your tropical chart, you are a, do you know for your tropical chart which what you are? Like your standard astrology?
Oh, you mean Scorpio?
Yes, you
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Scorpio, but on your draconic sun sign, you are a Taurus, okay? And for your tropical chart, your moon sign is in Libra, but on your draconic chart, your moon sign is an Aries, really fiery. So you're like earth and fire in your soul essence, okay?
Okay.
And so your core draconic identity, it says that your soul remembers stability through self mastery, leadership through embodiment, communication and adaptability, emotional resilience, practical service, creating value through consistency, and building lasting foundations. And it says your soul is not designed for chaos, it's designed to build, stabilize, teach, refine, lead through example, and create sustainable impact over time. How do you feel about hearing that?
That absolutely 100%.
100%,
A
huh?
hundred percent.
I definitely feel like you, when it said that you have emotional resilience on a soul level, I can based off your application, I was like, yeah, she really is embodying that emotional resilience with your story and how you went from being anxious and depressed and now you feel peace and this liberated, safe energy. So that's definitely something that others kind of need to witness. I think we are in a time in 2026 where and it really started in 2020. I think 2020 really shook things up for us here in America. Like it really did something to most of us. And if you didn't
Yeah.
really spiritual activate after 2020, I don't know what to tell you. Spiritual activate
Right.
now. Like because
Right.
like what were you doing in 2020 when the world was collapsing around you and you didn't like start questioning things? So
Right. We had time to
you
question
had all the
things.
time
It
in the
was
world
quiet
start questioning some
outside.
things. Like, please, people, start questioning something. I don't know. But if 2020 didn't trigger it, I know for sure 2023 rocked me to the core. I don't know what people was doing, but in 2023, I was really rocked to the core at that point. So
Mhm.
that's powerful. But it says practical service. It also says stability through self mastering. And I do see that you are on a trajectory of mastering yourself. How do you feel about it saying about yourself mastering?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because that's just basically how I operate. That gives me that confidence that I need. Even if it's just baking something. Now, don't get me in the kitchen. I'm terrible because I got to get all the ingredients and I got to get them in order and they got to be perfect and it takes me longer to prep than it does to cook. Ugh, it's terrible. Um, but yeah, it self mastery. It gives me that confidence that I need.
And also, because you're so well prepped, that's why it doesn't take you that long to cook.
Right.
Versus if you didn't have everything, you'd be like frantically, you'd be in the middle, like, okay, I need an egg. Now you're running over to
Yeah.
the refrigerator for an
Yeah.
egg. Wait a minute, I didn't even get eggs from the store. Now you gotta stop what you're doing, you gotta turn
Right.
the oven off. So like I kudos to you for being prepared. Sometimes I am a fly by the seat of my pants girly, and me and my best friend were actually laughing about that today. I was like, are we procrastinators or are we just so hyper intelligent that we just need the pressure of the last minute so we can catch up with everybody? So we can use
That,
our
yeah, I
superpower.
can
I was like,
see that.
it really is
Yeah.
a
Because it's
superpower.
gonna get done. It's
It's gonna
almost
get
like
done.
getting it done early is like, it's not exciting enough.
It's not exact. Now I get to show everybody I have a superpower because
You're
how
right.
did I catch up with you guys? Y'all started last week. I started last night. And I only had 10 hours of sleep, like in the last 2 weeks. So whatever, like bust out laughing. I was like, okay, we're gonna just say that maybe we can do better with this. We can do this. It also says that beneath your calm exterior exists a deeply courageous spirit, and your soul remembers self initiation, leadership, independence, trusting your instincts, and moving forward despite uncertainty.
Yes, that I've had that all my life.
Oh, yeah, because this is your.
I feel like I've always felt that. I've always felt that. There was a long time where I didn't believe in God,
Mm-hmm.
but it was because of the traumas and things that happened to me, but I was still guided by something and I just called that the universe.
Yeah.
And in 2023, when I had my spiritual awakening, my mom had brought the two together for me. And it was like, God is God and the universe is the orchestra. Like, it's like everything is moving. And it was like in my head, it was like something was guiding me this whole time, even though I didn't even believe in it.
Yes.
And I knew it was more than me
Yeah.
my whole life. How I've gotten to where I'm at and thinking in hindsight, it's like I've always been in quiet. I prefer quiet. It gives me time to think and sometimes I feel like my thoughts aren't even my own. Almost like you said, like imprints
Yes.
or ideas or things. It's like I they don't come to me until it's like I'm ready for them to come. So I kind of feel like it kind of helped me to okay, so God, like I can't even. I'm speechless about how in awe of everything I am, how everything's worked, how everything got me to where I am. But oh yeah, something was guiding me, and I was allowing it to.
That's 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 definitely powerful. So let's go on to the next part of your blueprint that I want to bring out. let's talk about your tropical identity. So we know we said you were a Scorpio sun and we said you were a Libra moon. And so it says this creates someone who is deeply perceptive, emotionally aware, strategic, independent, and constantly transforming beneath the surface. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
When it says you're
Absolutely.
constantly transforming beneath the surface, what are some examples of how that it like has been showing up in your life recently?
Um, Actually, pretty much everything I would say. What was the question?
I was saying that you're constantly transforming
Oh
beneath the
yeah,
surface.
constantly
Yeah.
transforming. Um, I have always, since I was a kid, I treat others how I want to be treated.
Mhm.
And I'm constantly like I've always been a certain way and and before I was always questioning that way if that was truly me or not. And now that I know that it is, um I'm constantly putting myself into other people's shoes.
Yeah, you're
I'm able
open-minded.
to, empathize or, even kind of seeing things through their eyes and gaining experience in it that way. Um, or even just trying to make myself the best person that I can be. I'm constantly, don't even get me started on dating. That's a transformation that I don't know when that's gonna happen. But just my whole goal is just to be the best person I can be for me, for my son, for my family, and just be there for other people. But I would just say, every day, I'm listening to other people and things that they're going through and experiences, and it helps me to heal myself too, in that and knowing that, maybe it wasn't just me, because a lot of us been through some things and don't realize that a lot of people go through those things and we felt so alone. Um, but just working on, staying an open person and listening and no judgment. I'm really big on that, mostly because I'm like I've probably heard it before if I've not been through it myself. But I'm constantly, deciding on what my style could be, my baseline style. I try a whole bunch of different things and I might come out with something that doesn't make sense at the start, but by the end of the day, you squint a little bit, it makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
Just not necessarily recreating me, but kind of unpackaging myself a little
Yeah.
bit here and there,
You constantly
but like in a
evolve.
good way.
Yeah.
And able to, think back on things that were really traumatic. I don't really share a whole lot of things with people, especially the people out here. They have no idea what I've been through, and I like that.
Yeah.
um I like that because I don't want anybody to hear something and feel sorry for me or feel pity or where they'll be like, well, how are you got a smile on your face? So I worked up really hard for this smile, for it to be a genuine smile.
Yeah.
um and I'm proud of myself for that. And I just want to be that light for anybody, for somebody. I pass somebody and I'll smile at them, even if they don't smile at me. But most of the time, next time I see them, they'll smile at me because they remembered I smiled at them. But I just setting myself up to be a good example for other people.
Well, that's beautiful. And this is your current incarnation. So this is something that again, I do understand why you said it makes sense throughout your life that you have been constantly transforming beneath the surface. One, for your own privacy, and like you said, you don't want people to pity you or feel any type of way about the things that you've experienced. So you figure them out internally before you can openly, express or share if you're comfortable doing that. So that's another reason that you transform beneath the surface, because you want that sovereignty of showing, where you are now versus where you were or who you were, and you want to just be identified in what you are instead of who you've been or what you've experienced. You don't want to just be those experiences. You want to be your own person. And it
And
also said,
I'm really like a move in silence type of person because I don't like to explain when something's delayed or when something doesn't happen how everybody expected. And then they'll be like, well, how come you didn't tell me when I was? Listen, I learned a long time ago. It's just better to talk to God about it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Talk to the universe, talk to God about it, and just kind of put it out. It's almost like you're reeling something in, just quietly,
yeah,
and then it makes you feel better, when things worked out. Because I've tried that a few times. Just even my mom, just letting people in on something I'm working on, personally, or it's always something that's going to make me feel happy or proud, or whether it's doing something for somebody else or whatever. I like to keep it to myself, um because I feel my reward will come, you know in other things. People are
yeah.
like, oh, thank you, I wish I could do something. I don't you worry about that. Like, mine will come. It always comes, and I keep that in my mind too.
Excellent. I can relate. And also it says you're deeply perceptive. And I noticed that you're perceptive. And I think that you use that perception to help not only create harmony in relationships and connections with other people, but that's the part of how you help others feel safe, because you may be perceiving things that people didn't say or didn't express, and yet for some reason they're like, how did you know, or how did you read me like that? So I don't know
Mm.
if that experience resonates with you, but I feel like that's what your chart is saying, that you have are putting out in this incarnation, that you're deeply perceptive. And that could be another reason that, also too, that may have been another reason that you questioned yourself prior to your spiritual awakening, because you were perceiving certain things and you weren't honoring what you were perceiving, because you were trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, or not, like, I don't want to be mean, or I don't want to be unkind, or I don't want to be judgmental. But you are so deeply intuitive that your perception was accurate. And
Yeah.
it took a while before you honored you and were like, you know what, no, I'm actually perceiving that correctly. Like, no, it
Yeah.
actually is that way.
Yeah.
So trust yourself. It does say you're very strategic. So when that's a lethal combination, when you're perceptive and you can strategically get yourself out of situations that you perceived are the wrong situations to be in. That's a very beautiful place, like placements to have in your chart. So I think that's
Yeah, that's
amazing.
definitely. It's funny because it's not funny, haha, because nobody ever likes it when somebody doesn't like them or
Yeah,
when people don't like them. But I've had people, in my life who've really thrown some stuff at me, and it's not ever stopped me because it's like, yeah, like you may not see anything change on the outside, but on the inside, oh, that plans are brewing. And
yeah,
most times I don't even have to do anything. It'll handle itself. But and that's another thing I've learned too. Just give it some time. Things will happen how they're supposed to. But that's another thing that I was saying, feeling guided my whole life. That's another thing,
yeah,
is that it was part of that. Being able to read somebody, read a room, um, get to know somebody, and but with blinders but no blinders, you know what I mean? Kind of
yeah,
just, but without them thinking I'm being fake. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, by being true strategic. Or what did somebody had called me one time, um I can't even think of the word right now, and I was kind of like, well, yeah, that kind of tracks, but he was saying it as a bad thing. But it's really, what's kept me out of trouble.
yeah. No,
For
it's a protective thing. Like it
yeah,
really is protecting you from being around
calculated
people.
was
Yeah.
what he called me.
What do you call you?
Calculated.
Calculate. Yeah, strategic.
Yeah, I was like,
No.
please.
And like, hey, we're doing calculations in math and I'm getting the answers right, you're not mad at it, right? So like, I'm gonna take that as a compliment. Like,
I was like, shoot,
because
I'd rather
also,
be called calculated than chaotic, or I don't know.
Yeah. But also too, and that goes to that projection thing that I was talking about people, because I don't know this man, so I don't know if it's accurate or not. But if you feel like I'm calculated, are you trying to manipulate me? And like I'm not being manipulated, and now you're like,
Right.
oh, she's saying through me. I don't like this. You're really strategic and really like. Because do you need me to be a simpleton so you can get over on me? Like, what are
Right.
you trying to say?
Like
Like,
was there
stop
was
with
it
the
all supposed to
duck
fly
in
over my
that.
head and I'm like
Hey, are you trying to
ah
gaslight me and it didn't
like
work because I'm trying to add it and the numbers aren't adding up? Or like what?
right.
Like, so that's so funny. Like it's like sometimes people tell on themselves by the things that they attribute to you, because like you wouldn't have figured this part of me out if you were acting different your own self, you know? So
Right.
that's so funny. So that is part of your tropical incarnation. Now it says at your best, this energy creates resilience, courage, emotional intelligence, powerful intuition, and transformative leadership. But in its shadow, it can create hypervigilance, control tendencies. Scroll down. Emotional defensiveness and difficulty trusting others fully. How do you feel about hearing the shadow aspects of your tropical incarnation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely all resonate.
But I think what really helped with that was one, realizing that your perception was accurate, you know? So it's like, am I really being super emotional defensive, or am I not honoring the signals that I'm getting when I perceive that I'm not in the right environment, or when I perceive that shade from that person and I'm trying to like pretend that they're really just joking when they're not just joking, or
Right.
so this person is saying this to me and I am offended, but I'm like trying not to be offended. So but now I don't trust this person, but I'm still around them. So I think that the shadows really only activate when we over indulge in denial,
Yeah.
because it can be disheartening, especially when we have pure intentions and we're genuinely there, with a good vibe and wanting the best, and we pick up on these things being hyper intuitive or perceptive, and then your instinct is telling you one thing, but the way you've been conditioned in society and you want to be nice and you want to be kind, and you're like, oh, I don't really want to be thinking this negative thing right now.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
make
that's
a
that people
decision.
pleasing. That
Yeah.
that was hard because I remember like I can just envision myself doing it and I'm like, ugh, it gives me the ick.
Right. I get the ick now. It's like so your life path. It says that you are a life path one. Do you have any idea, or have you ever did any studying on being a life path one?
I had just in one of those astrology groups,
Mm-hmm.
they were talking about calculating your life path number. And I read a little bit on Google and stuff, and it absolutely resonates. And just to see if I wasn't just making it resonate with me, I took my brother's birth dates, I
Mm-hmm.
took my mom's birth dates, and their numbers are different in mine, and theirs resonated
Okay.
with them as me knowing, them who I know them as. And so I was like, well, shoot, yeah.
Yeah. So it says that your path asks, can you trust yourself enough to lead your own life? What does that question bring up for you? That's the question of your whole life path. Can you trust yourself enough to lead your own life?
Oh, now yes, but prior to 3, 4 years ago, no.
Yes. So
Well,
this
today, yes.
is something that has actually like awakened as part of your spiritual awakening. When they say your life path, like now you feel you embody that life path where I'm doing
Hmm.
me fully. Because when I go back, it says the traits of a life path one are self-trust, leadership, confidence, independence, originality, and personal authority. Like I'm ruling
Hmm.
myself and don't tell me shit else. So also
Hmm.
it says healthy self-direction and courage, which you've been feeling that courage your whole life. It says this is
No.
the path of the pioneer. No, Remember
No,
he
I went, but that was back in the people pleasing and not knowing who I was, and I didn't know what I I wouldn't have. I mean, I've always trusted me because I've always figured my way out,
yeah.
but that's because I've lived with me, so I naturally would trust myself, but now I trust myself.
Yeah.
Now I'm embodying that my independence. I'm the oldest of four. My father, he worked full time, and he had his hobbies, which I had forgotten about until recently. Um but I had to be the responsible one. I had to be the strong one for everybody. I had to be the people pleaser, but I also had to read the room. I had to know what the temperature was in there, and I had to know what everybody was feeling, and so that I'm walking on eggshells, and laughing at jokes that weren't funny just to keep the positivity in the room. Um, but that hyper independence, I've actually had that my whole life.
Yeah.
The courage. No, I would say no, but also I had, struggling a lot with anxiety, which was very different than I am now. Anxiety, like I pulled up for a job interview one time and I left because the parking lot was across the street, across a busy street,
Oh.
and my anxiety wouldn't let me do it. Now I would do it. Now, like I don't care. I don't care if these people watch me cross the street. I don't care if I tripped and fell on my face. But prior to that, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well,
No.
that's beautiful that you've become so courageous and brave, and that this life path is, resonating and it is doing its job. Um, it does say on the shadow side of the life path that the challenges are often learning the difference between independence and isolation. And it says when stressed, this energy can become hyper independent, overly self reliant, resistant to support, emotionally guarded, and unwilling to ask for help. Have you
Yeah.
ever been in a place where you were isolated and
Oh yeah.
unwilling to ask for help?
Oh, my whole life. I
Yeah,
even struggle at asking for help now. But I have been challenging myself to do that, and I've been doing really well. But prior to that, I even told my mom, it makes my stomach turn to ask her to make me a sandwich. Like
yeah,
I I I wouldn't even ask for favors because if you told me no, like because knowing that I would do whatever as a people pleaser, I was like, yeah, you need something. Yeah, it didn't matter if it was cutting out of something I was supposed to do, or if I wasn't feeling well or whatever. Uh, that's not an issue now.
that's wonderful.
That is
And
not an issue now, but prior to it was. But again, anxiety played a big, huge issue um in that shadow side. But yeah, I'm being active about, if there is somebody who I feel like will is able to support me. Now, I don't just ask anybody. I'm still strategic about that.
yes,
Like if I feel like either you might tell me no or you might help me, but it might be a crappy job, then I'm probably not. Um, I'm still strategic about a few things. And isolation, like yes, I did use that to kind of keep the chaos and the noise away. Um, I had a roommate back in the day who she had to have music playing all the time.
yeah.
She couldn't operate in silence. I can operate in silence. I can operate in things going on in the room, but
You
and I would
prefer
be like, how do
quiet.
you even hear yourself think?
Yeah,
But then I feel like that also, if they always got noise going on around them, they don't ever get that. They don't ever hear God.
right. It's some type of need for a distraction.
Yeah.
They don't want to sit with certain things.
And I never had that issue. I never needed a distraction from things, which I think was also helpful to me. But it was also, a portion of that shadow side where, I put myself there to protect myself. Um, But, for me, it was safe because I was anxious,
Yeah.
But if I didn't have the anxiety, who knows, who I could have been way back when.
Well, you are on track for your life. So at that time, you needed that anxiety because it was teaching you a major lessons of really knowing the difference, knowing when you actually feel safe and secure inside yourself to make aligned decisions versus when that anxiety is bubbling and it's like, you know what, something isn't right here and I need to recalibrate. So it's no shame that you had those experiences because they taught you something powerful, and you're you have a lot of leadership energy in your spirit, right? And so sometimes you can't be the best leader if you're not able, like you say, to put yourself in other people's shoes. So if you've never
Hmm.
experienced depression or experienced anxiety or experienced shame or fear or guilt, and then somebody comes to you expressing those emotions and you can't relate, you may not be the right leader for them because you won't have lived experience to guide them or to help them or to nurture them into reaching something that they're supposed to reach. So it is, and being the firstborn, like I'm a firstborn, so I know we were born leaders. We had no
Hmm.
choice. We were thrown out there. Our parents didn't
Right.
know what they was doing. And I tell my oldest son all the time, he's like, why me? I'm like, one, you're the oldest. I know I'm the oldest. I hate that I have to tell it to you, but it's the reality of being the oldest child. I did not know what I was doing when I first had you. I kind of know the difference now with your brother, but you, every age that you turn, I've never had that child at that age.
Right.
Oh, you're new for me. Now, when your brother gets to your age, I'm gonna been kind of seen it before. But for you, you're growing and it's new for me as I'm seeing it in real time. So I'm sorry, you're the guinea pig. I've been there. I've been the guinea
Literally.
pig, and I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying to help you evolve. I want you to be a man that's capable of taking care of himself. So we're gonna get this figured out together. But you're meant to be a leader. I tell him that all the time. Like you will become a
Yeah.
leader. And so Life Path One was also that leadership energy, your draconic chart, with your Taurus sun sign is reigning that leadership energy. So because you have been called to be a leader in this life, or the path that you're walking, and it may not be that you're going to be president or vice president of a company, but you are entrepreneur and you are helping people who have reached or haven't reached that peace in their spiritual awakening, and just witnessing you. Sometimes being a leader is just being witnessed, being able to stand in your sovereignty and saying, and standing in your full embodiment and saying, hey, look, I'm gonna let you witness me. This how I did it. This how I got here. It may help
Hmm.
you, it may not, but I'm just throwing it out there in case you need a blueprint or need some type of system management. This is what I did, and sometimes it
Hmm.
helps people, and sometimes it doesn't help them in the moment, but they reflect. Or it leaves a nugget and something another person comes and gives them the water and they're like, you know what? If she had
Hmm.
planted that seed, I wouldn't have even been able to see that this was what I needed. So we sometimes we don't know like that. So you are, embodying that leadership energy in your life path, and it's really amplified also in your draconic chart. Now I don't want to hold you up too long. I'm gonna let you go through your soul contract by yourself. I'm not gonna say anything about your soul contract, so that's gonna be a fun read for you when you get your blueprint. I want to touch on something from your 20. I want to touch on something from your human design, and I want to touch on something from your 2026 arc. So kind of things that have happened this year. We're gonna talk about the now. Now, do you have any type of knowledge about human design chart or how they work or how what you
I
are?
never heard of it.
Okay, so your human design chart is basically how your energy works. So it helps explain like how you make decisions, the opportunities that come in and out of your life, things that the way that you naturally operate. Okay,
Okay.
and so for you, you are a manifesting generator. You respond and inform. You mostly work from, have you heard of chakras?
Hmm.
Okay. So your authority comes from your sacral chakra. So that's when you feel like that desire energy, that's when you know that you're most in alignment with what you need to be doing. If it doesn't bubble up any type of desire in you, it's a no for you. Like it's just like that's it. Like if I don't feel the desire, I'm pretty much not gonna do it. I'm not even gonna pretend I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna like gaslight you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel it inside me that I want to do it. I don't have no desire to participate. I'm just not gonna do it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like know that when you're I know you probably know the difference. When you was people pleasing, it's like you kinda got the ick. You kinda like, ugh, I don't wanna merge with this, but I also don't want to tell people no, so I'm gonna do it.
Right.
But now it's like you get the ick and you be like, oh no, the ick. I'm not
Yeah, yeah, not. Mm-mm.
oh oh no, like
If I'm gonna spend the whole day before dreading it, yeah, no.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
And so it says that your highest emotional theme is satisfaction. So you don't need to be looking for pure joy or pure happiness. If you're satisfied, that you're in alignment. Like, okay, I'm satisfied that I said yes. I'm satisfied. I'm comfortable. If you start feeling frustrated or angry at yourself for saying yes or for doing that or for having to sign up for it or participating, it's not in alignment with you at all. So notice when you're feeling frustrated and angry, that's like I don't even need to be over here. When you feeling satisfied, calm, you're not overthinking it. That's when you're okay. This is an alignment for me. And then the channels that you have open are self assurance. So when you feel self assured, that's a go. You have human potential. So I love that you have human potential because I think that's why you're so compassionate with others. You see potential in others that sometimes they don't see in themselves. Has anybody ever like brought that to your attention?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it hasn't been as fruitful because unfortunately, if they don't see that potential, then it usually doesn't come to fruition. At least not with me. Usually in my relationships, when I was dodging red flags because I was, seeing potential.
Mm-hmm. Well, it does activate that this channeling you, and I think too. Okay, we know that you're on a path of leadership, so you as a leader, you might see the blueprint. You might, okay, the building isn't fully formed yet, but I see it's got good bones. I see it's got good foundation. We can do this, and I'll support it. I'll help the growth of it. I'll invest in it. But like you said, when it comes to humans, they got to participate. They got to reciprocate. They got to want to be nurtured. They got to want to be supported. Otherwise, they end up overtaking from you. And then it's
Yep.
like when you start pulling back because you're like, hey, look, I'm trying to invest, but I don't see anything fruiting from this investment. I'm like tilling this ground and nothing's growing. And then they're mad
Mm-hmm.
at you, like, oh, you changed, you switching up. Am I? Or like, are you not really receiving what I'm giving you? Like,
Right.
so, like, I can
Right.
see how that can be detrimental in some ways when it comes to relationships because what K Michelle said, you can't raise a man. Like in certain aspects, you cannot teach a grown person how to be the best of themselves if they don't want to be the best of themselves.
Mm-mm.
And what I also
It's kind of like, after even with the whole healing process, I'm like, my brain's like, what else can I do? You
yeah,
know, I start brushing my teeth with my left hand, just, or I got the hamster because I decided, that I have more love to share. I wasn't getting another dog. Um, and I was like, well, I had hamsters growing up. Let me, get another hamster. And so, but I did think about it for a week first to make
yeah,
sure I wasn't just, jumping into something because
impulsive,
it
yeah.
sounds fun. Yeah. But my next one is my fear of spiders. I've been doing research in getting a jumping spider as a pet. So it's slow process.
Slow process,
But
absolutely.
I'm trying to, teach my nervous system some things.
Exactly. Have you ever seen that movie? Anywhere, everything, everywhere, all at once, everywhere, everywhere.
I think I saw that on one of the platforms, maybe Netflix. I haven't watched it though.
Okay, if you ever get a chance because of the life you live, I think you'll like that movie. I really do. I've seen that movie. I'm not going to do any spoilers for anybody who has not seen the movie. Please watch the movie. It's one of my faves. But I will say that within the movie they had different like timeline versions of themselves,
Mm.
and she would have the main character would have to do certain things in those timelines in order to get certain results. And I think that's like what you were saying, like, okay, I know when I was a kid I had a hamster. I'm gonna have to go back to that because that might be some inner child healing that little me needs to see me with the hamster again in order for to feel
Mm-hmm.
safe in current me so that I can show my nervous system we're safe right now. Like, so
Mm-hmm.
it is like that movie kind of represents that, like, it's the strange things that we think that don't matter, like applying for that job we don't really want and then taking that job we don't really want and then it turned out to lead to something else that we absolutely did want. And hey, if I had never even applied to that, I wouldn't even know this other opportunity existed, type of thing. So that's what we're doing with our nervous system. It's like I'm taking these little opportunities and getting outside of my comfort zone, outside of my box, especially with the jumping spider. I'm taking authority over this fear or over this
Mm-hmm.
anxiety or over this program in order to show myself that I'm like, this doesn't scare me. This doesn't hurt me. This isn't ruling my life, unconsciously. So that's very powerful. That's
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's showing my nervous system that I'm the one that's in charge. Like me.
exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to me, nervous system, and start
Mm-hmm.
taking.
Well, but my nervous system is still strong though when it comes time to touch that jumping spider.
Oh yeah,
but it's a work in progress though.
definitely, definitely. I think back to I always go back to that Bible scripture where Jacob was wrestling with the angel and like the angel like knocked his thigh loose, but like he's holding it, wrestling with the angel. Like that's our
Mm-hmm.
nervous system. We're sometimes you hardcore fighting yourself.
Yeah.
And which one of you is gonna win? Like they're both you. You are
Yeah.
the angel and you are the demon inside yourself. It's like no imaginary demons. It's like your nervous system programming you. You either gonna be in fight, flight, or fear, or you gonna be thriving and in peace. Like which one do you want? But you
Right.
can't see it both at the same time. So you're gonna either have to
Mm-hmm.
take charge of your nervous system and not let it like overpower you for autopilot, or you're gonna have to like let it keep running your life unconsciously and just like see what happens. And who wants that? Because most of the time
Right.
it really ain't what we want. And then people out there like, oh, the devil done did it to me today. No, it's really you.
That
It's
was
really you
you.
back in that pattern again that you said 2 weeks ago that you was not gonna do no more. And you
Yeah.
didn't have the stamina for to keep going. And I mean, like, it takes stamina because and then even too, if you fall off track, you have to get back up. What they say, fall 7 times, get back up 8. Like you have to
Mm-hmm.
like you have resilience in your chart. But like we all, that should be something we all strive to have is inner resilience, that emotional inner resilience, that even though this didn't work out exactly how I thought it was going to work out, I'm not going to shame and guilt myself forever. I'm going to have self-forgiveness. Everybody work on self-forgiveness. Forgive yourself first. Sometimes you can't even forgive other people because you refuse to forgive yourself for certain things. So forgive yourself first. You weren't at the same awareness you are now. You didn't have the same lived experiences you have now. You didn't have the same opportunities you have now. It's okay. Forgive yourself for not being who you think you needed to be back then and just be who you want to be now. Like now that you know better, do better. But don't shame, fear, and guilt yourself forever because that keeps you stuck too. That keeps your energy really low. And
Yeah.
that's another thing that triggers self-sabotage and self-abandonment. So don't self-depreciate. Like, like that goes back to what I was saying earlier about self-worth and self-esteem. Like I wish the world, we all need higher self-esteem. Like I'm all for everybody having higher self-esteem, not like arrogance, like to where
Not
you think that,
conceited, but
yeah, like I'm
yeah.
not saying I'm better than nobody, but I'm the best me y'all gonna get. Like and I'm
Yeah. So
tomorrow I'm
like,
gonna be
yeah,
a
a lot of
little bit
people don't
better
love
me.
themselves.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
but actual love, not where because some people they portray confidence, but inside themselves they're still that like like it's the mask, like not loving yourself to where you need the aesthetic of I'm showing everybody I'm loving myself, but truly loving yourself. And if you love fuzzy socks or if you love like simple things like having a pet turtle or what I'm saying, like small, simple things that nobody need to know that you love. Love yourself. We don't care. Love
Mhm.
yourself. But
Right.
if you think you need a Bentley or a BMW for the show that you love yourself, that's not really you loving yourself. That's you buying into an aesthetic, you know. Now
Right.
if you do love that Bentley and you can afford to reward yourself for that Bentley, you did the damn thing. I'm not mad at you. Like I'm not. You might did the damn thing, you know.
Right.
But just make sure you're actually doing it from like I love and I deserve this for myself, and not like I'm trying to stun on people, you know.
Right. Right. Trying to keep up with the Jones. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
like
Joneses.
cause
Yeah.
then that's just gonna turn to more stress and other things like
Right.
that. But
Right.
so you're 2026. So as we're gonna close up, we're gonna talk about some things that's activating for you for 2026 in your blueprint. So it says 2026 is a year of consolidation, self definition, and intentional growth. For you, this is not a year of becoming someone different, it is a year of becoming more fully yourself. And many of the transits moving through your chart are activating things that already exist within your blueprint, such as self trust, leadership, visibility, communication, purpose, emotional maturity, and personal authority. This is a year where your internal growth begins seeking external expression. Have you, in these first 5 months of 2026, been externally expressing yourself more?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
what is um what is something that you're most proud of that you've expressed yourself like that from that internal growth that you've had that you've been expressing yourself this year?
Oh, well, I mean, I know that sense of humor or somebody being really funny usually comes from a background of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm typically pretty funny, back to the people pleasing where, if I made everybody laugh, at least I knew everybody was in a good mood, right?
Yeah.
Um, but recently I started to you know like you said, you put yourself out there, be seen. And so I started, making just little funny videos. And um and one of them, not like, it didn't go viral, but it got shared a lot and it got liked a lot and I got a lot of comments on it, but I didn't do it to do that. Like, I just
Yeah.
kind of like,
You just
you know
expressing yourself.
yeah, I was just expressing myself and I got a bunch of followers all of a sudden. It was like over the next few days, it was just like, yeah, I don't know, but I think being more seen, something that I haven't been able to do since my healing process was being in a relationship, which I would really, like. But of course, dating is hard because not everybody is in a healing process.
Yes.
Um, a lot of people are still completely unaware. So that makes it really hard. But being more, visible, and but doing it, while being myself completely, which I think is a lot more relatable to people.
And it is. I think that we are, although there are still many people that aren't as self-aware as they could be. I want to say that it's not that healing is trending, but I think the aesthetics of healing has been trending. And I think the aesthetics of soft girl life is trending, but I don't think that to the extent the girls are aware of how in depth the nervous system and the identity and the programming are keeping them stuck in patterns to where healing is perpetual, you know.
Right.
um because you can be on a long healing journey, but are you on this long healing journey because you are still unaware of what is triggering you or what you need to heal? Or some people are confusing, and I did this at first too. I would think, oh, I'm healing, when really I'm just isolating. And it's like
Hmm.
you really don't know if you're healed until you start testing some of the
Yeah,
symptoms and
you
testing.
gotta, what do they call that? Something therapy. when you put yourself in situations that would have typically triggered you or caused you to react in a certain way, and you're outside of yourself, kind of like analyzing it a
Yes.
little bit, almost like sitting behind yourself or in a like the
You're the
corner of the room
observer.
or something.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
just
like, am I truly healed or am I just in avoidance and isolation?
right. Am
But
I
it's
avoiding all the
softer.
stuff that pissed me
Right.
off?
I'm giving myself the bubble baths. I'm lighting the candles. I'm journaling, but I'm not actually healing. I'm just not around nobody,
Right.
and the
Right.
environment is softer. Yeah, So I know it. Oh, earlier this week I triggered my dad on purpose to trigger myself, and
Yeah.
I knew because I'm perceptive. I was like, okay, this is gonna trigger my dad, but I'm ready for it. So when he came home and he was like seeing things, he was like, okay, you moved a lot of my stuff. You did it. And I was like, yeah, but why aren't we ready to, release and let things go? So living. And I was like, but I was just like so grounded and I knew exactly what I was doing. But it was like, because I was so grounded, he was grounded and he was just like, okay. And I was like, yeah. I was like, really? But it was for me to not people please and not
Right.
like to make sure I can be a leader, right? Because I'm leading this situation. Even though you're my dad, I'm gonna lead right now, and I'm gonna practice on you. Whether
Yeah.
you're gonna, recognize that I'm doing something for your good, or if I'm just like, so it was something. But sometimes you got to be willing to be the trigger too. You got to be willing to be like, hey, especially if you're in that leader, and you're like, hey, I'm drawing the line and we're gonna see. Like this is the new line, this is the new rule, this is it. Like somebody gotta have authority around here. So I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna do that in a respectful way. It's not like, I didn't take anything that didn't need to be took, but it's just like sometimes you got to purge, you gotta cleanse, you gotta release, you gotta be willing to let things go because things hold in that's just how I believe it. Things hold energy. And if you want things to move in your life, you can't just sometimes you gotta physically move things out too. Sometimes you gotta physically throw away something that's been sitting at your
Mm-hmm.
house for 5 years and you have not touched it in 5 years. I promise to God. But the day I throw it away, you're crying about it. We have physically not touched this at all in
Not
five
even thought
years.
about it.
Move this out the house. Like, would you have really noticed it at all? So it's things like that. Sometimes you got to let go of old things, even like random spring cleaning, like, okay, I'm just gonna redo my whole wardrobe. I love this top, but it's going to Goodwill. Somebody else will love it. And guess what? Now my closet's back full again. I do not
Yeah.
know how my closet got back full, but apparently I'm gonna throw things away and then I'm gonna get more. Like that's basically how you get more. Get rid of stuff, people. If you have been holding on for things too long, get rid of them and watch how much stuff you get. It's just gonna start
Hmm.
appearing. I promise you. Things just gonna show up at your doorstep, and you're just gonna be like, "Where'd this come from? Somebody ordered it for you for a gift. You didn't ask for it, but now you got room. The Lord's giving you more stuff. He's like, oh, you made room. I'll give you some.
Yeah.
So do that. Now, for your January and March themes, it said that you were going through foundation and clarity, and that these periods supported reflection, planning, and identifying what deserves your energy moving forward. And then April kicked in, and from April to June, it says you're moving into discipline and momentum. You've had new routines, healthier structures, and clear priorities begin gaining traction. Does that
Hmm.
sound like what's been resonating over the past
Hmm.
5 months?
Yeah. I've been really, really, really practicing letting go of control.
Hmm.
And that released a lot of stress and worry because I've heard them say, worry is basically worshiping the problem.
Hmm.
Um, and that actually helped me a lot with my stress. Is when you sit and really think about it, it's like all the things that we've been through, and look at us. We're still
Yeah.
okay. Like, you just, take it with stride and get the lesson out of it because I don't believe in coincidences anymore. I definitely don't. Every day is just a learning experience, and yeah.
Well, that's powerful. I love what you just said. So, what worry is the worship of the problem. People, if y'all did it, that was a moment right there, you guys. Worry is the worship of the problem. Stop worrying about the problem. Worship the creator, worship the universe, worship the solving of the problem. And
Worship
if
the
you,
solution.
yes, the
Yes.
solution. If you trust in the Lord, or you trust in the divine, or you trust in the universe, whoever you trust in, if you believe they got your back, why are you worrying about the problem?
Right.
The problem is solved already. I love that was so powerful. That was powerful, you guys. That was thank you, Danielle. She have touched us with a word. If we didn't get nothing else, that's what we got a lot though. You this has been amazing talking to you. We got so much. We got so much, but that was very powerful right there. So I just had to reiterate you guys because I think, that's very human. It's very human.
Yeah.
Get inside your head sometimes, get inside your own way, and just be trying to figure out how things are gonna be solved. And you think because you're trying to micromanage the problem that you're helping when really you're only adding cortisol to your body. And that goes back to now your nervous system in fight or flight again. And now
Yep.
you
And now your
anxious.
belly is gonna be
Not,
bloated because that's what
yep, now you
cortisol does.
depressed.
Yep.
Now you feeling ugly. Now you adding more problems. Now the pimple that came. Oh Lord, now you got the pimple. You know what I'm
Pimple patch. That ain't helping. Now you got
saying?
the
What?
suntan in the shape of the pimple
What?
patch.
Now you got the stress lines. Now you ain't sleeping good. Now you died off. Now you ain't eating good no more. You over there back to fast food. You promised yourself you wasn't gonna eat no more because you can't even cook because you so worried and stressed out about the problem. So people,
Mm-hmm.
don't worry about the problem because you're worshiping the problem. The problem is gonna figure itself out. We didn't
Like it always does.
like
Like
well,
it always does.
we done had enough problems in life to realize the problems figure themselves out. I'm telling you, the problem's gonna figure
It
itself.
took me 40 years to figure out like everything. It's like, what is the worst that can happen?
Yes,
You've already dealt with the worst that can happen.
God, yes.
We've already done that. Like you just got to think about, okay, well, I mean, you just think of the possibilities. We won't even think about the think about the good and the bad.
Yes,
Don't disregard the negative possibilities, but just detach from moving towards the negative. Consider the negative,
yes,
but don't worship the negative.
right. We get it. It's there. The problem is there. It has occurred. And maybe it's not a problem, but it's a challenge for your faith. It's a
Yeah.
challenge to see, do you have enough faith to know that this will be taken care of also? Not
Hmm.
not as it's different from any other challenge that you face, but this one too shall pass, right? Like
Absolutely.
this one's
Amen
gonna
to
be
that.
around like something else has. So wonderful. I love that. That was beautiful. So for you, it says the last thing I'm gonna read in your blueprint, and then we will close for today. But it says that your sovereign declaration is, so this is like your mantra for your
Okay.
blueprint, and it's individual to you. But it says, I trust myself. I trust my instincts. I trust my ability to create a meaningful life. I release responsibility for what was never mine to carry. I allow support, love, and abundance to flow toward me. I honor my truth without apology. I lead through authenticity. I build with intention. I choose alignment over obligation. I
Mhm.
choose wisdom over fear. I choose trust over control. I choose myself. And that is your blueprint declaration.
I love it.
Yes. So I'm going to get your blueprint to you so that you can go over again in depth all of the things that we didn't touch. How do you feel about hearing the things that we did touch?
It makes sense. It absolutely makes sense because they're all things that I've already considered about myself in the healing process. When you're learning the things that are truly you, and how you've gotten through things in the past, it's nice to hear it out loud from somebody who hasn't watched my whole life story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're getting that insight based on my birth date and time, and I
And where
think
you
that
were
is,
born in your name.
yeah, like I like, yeah, if my mom were sitting here and you asked her to describe me, that would be it.
And that is the amazing to me, why I love the blueprint so much is because when they're accurate, which most of the time I haven't met a person yet that's told me like this is so inaccurate, but it's
Right.
it's just amazing. That's why I sent the call out because I wanted women that I didn't know. When I started this process, it started with me. I was looking at my own blueprint, and yeah, it felt accurate, but it was like, okay, but it's just me. So then I went to my sister, I went to my friends, I went to some coworkers, but I know them. So it's like,
Right.
is it me tailoring it to them because I know them and I kind of see this already because I'm intuitive, or is it actually that I'm doing this correctly? And so that's when it comes to complete strangers that I've never met before. You filled out an application and you answered questions, but your questions didn't answer any of these things that showed up on your blueprint. The only thing I used for your blueprint was your name and your date of birth and your time and where you were born. And so for to hear you in real time say, hey, that this is really showing up in how I've lived and my lived experience, that feels good because it shows me that the blueprints are accurate and also they give clarity and recognition, which is what the ultimate goal of the blueprints for. I want the women that receive their blueprints to see, I call it a mirror, because when you see yourself clearly, just like when you received your diagnosis, when you see yourself clearly, having that clarity and having that recognition, it brings you peace. It brings you a type of
Hmm.
liberation to know, like, hey, everything that's been happening in my life and that I've been experiencing is on purpose, and because I know it's on purpose, I feel safer knowing that
Yeah, that's
God,
exactly what it
yes,
is.
I
That's how
God has
that's how I
always had a plan for me.
yes.
It's been in my design this whole time. And obviously I'm still gonna question certain things sometimes, but
Mhm.
I have a foundation that I know that everything that I'm doing and happening, even if I don't know the bigger picture right now, is gonna clear itself up. Just like what we
Yeah.
were saying with the problem. The problem's gonna solve itself, you guys. It
Like
is.
it always has.
It always
Like it
has,
always has.
because it's there on purpose. It's trying to
Yeah.
teach me something. It's trying to show me something. It's trying to build up a stronger foundation. It's trying to build up a defense. It's trying to clear something out for me. It's really there to help. It's really a little helper bee. I'm just aggravated by it. I just find it annoying. I just find it inconvenient. But in hindsight, that problem led me to move, and that move led me to the love of my life, or that problem led me
Hmm.
to the new job and now I make great money, or that problem. So when has the problem ever not turned into an awesome thing, you guys? Like
Exactly.
it
Like
worked
that
itself
move, I was
out.
supposed to go to Mississippi. I 100% am sure that I would not have been happy. I would be stuck in toxic cycles. Me coming out here, before I met this person, there was no way I was ever leaving San Diego.
Yes,
It took that situation for me to picture myself out of there. And once I got out of there, it was like, all right, bet,
that
bet.
that's
I had to, I trusted something.
yes. And some
And
people are
that's,
in our lives for like catalysts, like that
mhm.
person,
Yeah,
and we want so deeply for, especially, I don't know, me. Sometimes I romanticize potential too. Sometimes I'm feeling something and I'm like, oh, this is gonna really turn into something, and it doesn't, and that's okay. That person still taught me something, and I still,
right.
the feelings don't go away. They just mutate into something of like gratitude or like nostalgia, but they don't
Hmm.
they don't really just like become nothing. So
Right, right, right.
because I feel like people are still just, to me, embodiments of the spirit of God. He breathed life into them like he breathed life into me, and he just
Mhm.
wanted them to cross my path so that I would make that quick U-turn, or I turn left right there at that light when I needed to, so that I can be where he needs me to be. And although that person isn't in my life, it's no hard feelings, because you
Right.
did your job. You showed me what I needed to see in myself at that time. And I think that's another thing you said too earlier about like not being in a relationship right now due to people not being as aware, or some people just aren't even as,
They're stuck, but they'll be stuck in these games and toxicity and treating me like somebody, that hurt them in their past.
yeah,
It's tough.
it is tough. And also I think what I've come to view it as is relationships are mirrors. And if you're not willing to truly look at yourself, then when you are in a relationship, everything that you are projecting onto that person is just a piece of you that you won't face, you know?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
like, yeah, that past relationship that they're still stuck in and they're projecting on you, that's them in their past relationship. Because also, are you doing all the same things to me that you did to that previous partner? Because how have
Right.
you grown and evolved if you're still viewing that partner?
Right.
And what even
Right.
brought you to me? And you're relating me to everything about this partner. So obviously,
Mhm.
you still stuck in that relationship too. So, like,
Mhm.
it's certain things that I if I could articulate to the world and have them realize, like, be willing truly to face deeply into the mirror of yourself so that when you are in front of somebody else, you won't be projecting all of that to them and they can show up in their authenticity for you and it be presence. Like, I think that's what most people really deeply desire. When they say they desire love, they desire a person that's willing to be present with them and it not be them needing to change or them needing to play a game or them it being a power dynamic. Oh my God, like
Right.
why
Yep.
can't we just both be present with each other, witnessing each other's lives unfold? And I support you and your growth and your evolution and your dreams, and you do the same for me. And we just show up for
Right.
one another in kindness and in compassion and in care. And I'm not gonna treat you like your mom, but I might treat you
Right.
like my best friend. You know,
Right.
why can't we be friends? And I think that's another thing too. Like be want to be friends and lovers, you guys. Like
Right.
you shouldn't want to like need your like you can have friends, cool, be with your friends. But if you're looking at me like an enemy, why are we together? Like
Right.
why aren't I a safe person for you to express yourself? Like don't be with me then. Like because I want to be myself. Like I really don't want to come there having to feel like I gotta walk on eggshells behind your temperament. And if I start feeling like I got the tiptoe, I got the hide, I got the string. I'm moving around. I'm not about to do
Right.
that. I'm not
Exactly.
because that's unfair. It's unfair, especially if I'm willing to just like be a safe space for you. And that's what they call self regulation. I'm willing to regulate myself. I'm willing to identify my own triggers. I'm willing to articulate and communicate. I'm willing to just straight up tell, hey, I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. Don't. It's not a you thing. It's me. I'm triggered. This what happened. Like so, you do the same. Tell me if the person at the light flipped you off and they got you aggravated. Now you walk through the door ready to go off on somebody, but don't go off on me. Just tell me you
Right.
like going off, and I'm gonna give you some space. Like
Right.
I'm gonna let you do what you need to do to woo saw, but don't take it out on me because I didn't do it.
Mm-mm.
I am not the problem. So
No.
it's so funny. Like I self regulation, you guys. Self regulation before you get into a relationship. Please make sure that you're getting in a relationship not for because you need validation. Like that's another thing too. People get into relationships because they can't be alone because they feel like they need somebody constantly hyping them up. Like be your own hype man so that when you get in a
Yeah.
relationship and when your person's having an off day, you don't get mad at them because they're traumatized that their grandma died and now you can't even be compassionate because you're mad they're not giving you attention. How selfish.
Right.
Like, oh my
Right.
gosh, like some people like don't make everything about you.
It's self-centeredness.
Yeah, it's like some
Yeah.
people literally can't let you be going through anything because they're mad you're not at your A1. Like, okay, but I'm actually trying to communicate to you what I'm going through, and I'm actually trying to not make it a bad thing, but I do have emotions I'm trying to regulate and I'm trying to communicate about it. And you're mad that I am not here bubbly and happy and joyful for you, and now you're telling me I'm ruining your day. Well, I'm sorry
Right.
that I'm needing support right now. Like, god dang.
Right.
So that's another story. But yeah,
Right.
this has been a fabulous conversation. It's been very enlightening. And thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing and being open and authentic. And I'm just grateful that you applied and that we were able to have this session.
Me too. It was great. This is my first time on camera for anything, so I hope I
Well,
did
shout out to you. You did fabulous. You did fabulous. You might need to go get an acting job. Like, not that you're acting, but you would be great. You like have such a fun personality, which I'm sure you hear a lot. But yeah, no, being yourself, being your authentic self, like that is a light because it shows people that there's safety in just being you. Like that's what God I told y'all, God told me my purpose was just be myself. And at first that pissed me off because I was like, no, Lord. I want to be somebody else, but obviously he made me me. So who else I'm gonna be? Like, duh. But yes, be yourself, Danielle, because you are shining and everybody sees it, and your experiences are helping people that you might not even know. I don't know who's gonna watch this episode, but I hope that they get all these treasures and nuggets because you gave a lot. You gave a lot of good treasures and nuggets. And the number one, y'all heard what I said. The number one treasure and nugget is don't worship these worries.
Don't do
that
it.
that was the word of the
Don't put
day.
the worries on the
Don't,
pedestal.
there you go. Don't set them up
You
that
know
high.
it exists, but we're thinking about solutions. We're
Be
thinking about
be
the yeah.
delusional about the solutions, you guys. Be like,
Yes.
be already living in the solution.
Be delusional
Once
about
the problem get
be
there.
delusional about all the good things. Be so
Mm-hmm.
delusional. People I
So
had my son's girlfriend, she's 20 now. She asked me, she was like, she told me, she was like, you just be in your own little world. Like, she's like, you got this nice place and then you work for yourself and you take your dog to work with you. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm delusional. Like, I just want to be that. Like, I wish I had some fairy wings on me and my little crown and just sprinkle happiness and love and compassion. And we need that right now.
we do. And you absolutely are sprinkling that because again, even she's 20 and she's has that recognition of like this lady is showing me a blueprint of what I could be doing. Like instead of just maybe her parents are trying to train her to go get a 9 to 5 and work hard and do this and she's like this lady is living how I want to live. I want to live with a sense of freedom in my life and in my energy and how I embody things. And she is so happy, and I'm happy to witness her be happy. So that sometimes happiness is literally you showing up, being happy, and letting other people witness that it's possible because they are in a bad mood and they need to see somebody else's smile. What did they say? Smiles are contagious. They need to see you
Yeah.
smile so that they smile. So like, hey, you guys, instead of yawning and only spreading sleepiness and misery, let's spread happiness and vitality. Let's take after Danielle and let's go after our dreams and be so delusional about it, you guys.
Oh,
In
dude, be
2026, be
delusional
delusional. You
and
got to be
romanticize
anything,
everything.
everything. Like you can be
Everything. Make
anything.
everything a big deal for you.
Exactly. Celebrate yourself, love yourself, nurture yourself, feed yourself nutritiously. Um, Go to bed. That's my
Don't
number one.
forget that water. Water is
Drink,
important.
drink water.
Water.
Drink water. Oh my gosh. And go to bed, please. That's the number one thing I'm working on right now. Getting enough sleep. Getting enough sleep. I was like really a night owl. I was like stay up all night. Even in childhood, I'd be up all night reading the damn Harry Potter book. Take your ass to bed. Like I am now at 34 programming myself to go to bedtime. Go to bed. When I tell my kids to go to bed, guess what I do? I go to bed too now. I go to
Yeah.
bed.
We got to
So
set that example. You
I
remember
have to
when we
set
used
the
to fight a
example.
nap? You remember when we used to fight naps?
What? Look,
We
now I
back when we were kids and we were like, nap.
the
Oh,
Tuesday this week, I took a nap. It was like 2 o'clock, you guys. I was so tired. I'm like, you know what? I'm off. Take a nap. And it was refreshing. It was
oh,
refreshing. And I was like, oh my
glorious.
gosh, look at me. A grown woman can take naps now. I can take naps,
Yeah.
go to bed. I can be in the bed at 8:30 and actually be going to sleep for 9:30. I can actually be closing my eyes with my little music playing. I listen to sound therapy when I go to sleep. But it helps me. I wake up a new person. I wake up whatever the sound therapy was, or whatever I needed to work on. I'm like, yes, I'm changed. Like, am I really changed? I don't know, but we'll see. Let's see 5 years from now, you guys, where I'm at. Y'all see me now. Let's see that 5 years from now, I'm progressing every day. I'm changing. I'm rapidly changing. I actually, if y'all go watch episode 1 and come back and look at this episode, I've changed already, and that's like a month.
Hey.
So, okay, Danielle, we're gonna close up for today. Thank you so much, and thank you, audience, for watching. It's been another episode of It's Really Not Me, It's You, and stay tuned for more. Y'all have a great night, or evening, or day. I don't know what time you're watching. Have a good day.